weighing this little guy's head. He needed weight and fiberfill. I think it's gonna go in his head. Oops, I already made a mistake. Dang it. Well, I'll just edit the mistake out. I was thinking of doing this live. I'm glad I didn't do it live. I forgot that I need to put the sock. Okay. Here's my tip for the day, okay? When it comes to, here's my tip. You're gonna wanna put this stocking inside the head, just like so. And just open up the stocking. The reason you're gonna wanna put the stocking in, that way, if once you fill the glass in there, you're not going to find that the opening is going to allow you to stick a ball of glass in there. So you're going to want to put the stocking in there first. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am going to do a reweighting of this little guy. Ever since I've had him, I felt like he's been too light. He definitely needs a little bit more weight in his head, his body. His limbs seem to be weighing just fine, so I don't know yet what I'm going to do with his limbs. But if you're new to this hobby, or maybe you're not new and you just have, you know, phobias about taking your dolls apart, it's actually a very necessary skill, or it's very necessary if you're a doll collector, especially of reborn dolls, to be able to conquer that fear of taking your doll apart. So some of the supplies that we have here, I'm just going to scoot him over just a little bit. Of course, I'm going to be editing a lot out because I don't want to make it major long, especially as a tutorial. But we're going to start off with the tools. Now, this is a great tool. This is a cable or a wire cutter. I love it. I am borrowing this from my dad. He has many tools, but this is my favorite one to cut through those cable ties. You don't have to have this fancy tool. You can also use a nail clipper. It's perfectly fine. You just need something strong that can bite through that cable, because the cables are pretty strong. I've used scissors before, but I don't recommend scissors because they don't cut as easily through the cables as something like this or nail cutters. Depending on if you're going to add weight or remove weight, definitely before you start on this project, you're going to need to invest some money in glass. This is the glass beads, the chopped up little grinded up glass that I buy from Bountiful Baby. I believe McPherson's also has it available, but I get mine from Bountiful. Their shipping is pretty fast. They always ship priority site. Usually when I order something, I get it right away. So this is what I have. You can use that for weight. This I put in the arms, and if I'm going to, when I put it in the head to add weight in the head, or I put it in the body, I make sure that I put it in nylon. If you're going to be using this very finely grounded down glass beads, you're going to want, these are the ones I bought from Bountiful Baby. You're going to want thicker nylon. As you can see, you can't really see through this one. Well, you can now, but I'm stretching it out. But this is actually, to the touch, it's a thicker nylon. It's a more durable nylon. With the nylons, like the very thin pantyhose that you would buy like at your local grocery store, or your local store, they're thinner. The nylon is thinner. They're the kind that just run really easily. These ones are a lot better. You're not going to have glass ripping it, making it run. And the other problem with the ones that you buy from Walmart and, you know, the pharmacy, what you buy locally, because they're not as thick and durable and reinforced, the knit is not as, you know, as strong as the nylons from Bountiful Baby. The glass beads are so fine and powdery that they will spill right through the pores of the nylon. So you will have a mess on your hands. Another thing you're going to need are these cable ties. I buy the very thin. You can get them at McPherson's. You could even find them on eBay. People sell them on eBay too. You can find them at Bountiful Baby. I always order my supplies from Bountiful Baby. So an abundance of these are necessary, especially if you have more than one doll. I wanted to show you guys these before I forget. You can, or you don't have to use these. I've started using some of this. It's it's silicone poly gels, and I like them. You don't need to have them, but do not ever fill the arms with these. They add a little bit of weight, not anything close to the weight of this. But if you want to make your baby squishy, and you could put this in the thin nylons from the store, from the local store, because there's not going to be any running. It's not going to snag the nylon. You can put this in the bum. You can add it as belly fat. I like it, but I don't find that I necessarily need it. But I did buy, because I wanted to experiment with this, I did buy this. If you want, it does add a little bit more squishiness to your baby and floppability. I just invented a word, floppability, and squishiness to the bum area. So you would put this in a stocking. Never put this directly into the vinyl, because it will, the contact of this silicone gel and the vinyl will break this down, and then it will damage your vinyl kit. And you're also going to need, this is my preference, this is not what everybody uses, but this is a cluster fill. So it's not like the polyfill. The polyfill is more cohesive, it's more stuck together, but this is more broken apart but fluffy. I like this a lot better, only because it moves better inside the doll's body, with adding firmness, enough firmness, because sometimes when you put too much just traditional polyfill on it, that doesn't leave the baby too squishy. It's good to put this in there if you want more of a squishy and softer, pillowy baby. So it's kind of like a pillowy cloud, and it falls apart easily. You see, I don't even have to pull at it for it to fall apart. It's called a cluster. It's a cluster polyfill. This is a 20-inch Reborn doll. His limbs are a lot chunkier than my Levi. Levi is a 17-inch, but if his legs were extended, he would be about 19 inches. So here's this chunky guy. So now I'm going to start with the head, because like I said, I pretty much am content with the weight in his legs and arms. I just want to add a little weight in his torso and in his head. So you got to be careful to cut away from the cloth. I love this tool so much. It just makes every cutting just a lot easier. Oh, I gotta cut this one twice. There he goes. And to my surprise, okay, not my surprise, I've never opened up a doll by this artist, but there's absolutely nothing in his head, and I knew it. I do like to put some weight in the head, not too much, because you don't want the head just being like out of control. But yeah, there's nothing in his head, not even polyfill. And I do like to put polyfill in the face, because I don't like his face to be too squishy. So I want a nice, firm, solid face. But there he is. And now, I knew he was pillowy soft, but I had no idea that she had it looks like she has cluster fill. So now I'm gonna see how she feels, how this artist built this baby. It looks like it's a combination of cluster. Oh, I kind of liked what she's using here. It's not as loose as the cluster polyfill that I have, but it's also not as solid as oh God, I love this. I'm gonna have to ask her what this is, but it's not as solid as the traditional polyfill. And I don't know any other way to explain that. Okay, so what I'm discovering in layers, she's using a nice sock. Wow, he does have a lot of weight in him. This looks like this is a mix of, you know what she's using? Oh my goodness, I had no idea. So this is the inside. I love what she's done here. And you know what? I'm going to find out right now what it is inside. Okay, so now he's empty. Now we got an empty noodle baby. See? Completely empty. Ah. Okay, so I'm going to move his body aside for right now, and we're going to look inside of this. What could it be? What's in there, guys? Okay, we're going to discovery time. Today I learned okay. I don't have a scale. I need to invest in a scale at home. Okay. Let me see. Let me pull some of this out. She has a combination. I'm not even sure what this is. It's not like any glass beads I've ever seen. These are bigger than the sand that I have. Not sand, than the really fine powdery stuff I get from Bountiful Baby. Let me pull out a little bit more so that I can. They're more beady. They're more beady. But I want to say these are not even glass. I think they're like beads. Well, hold on, let me see. I don't want to say that I know what it is, but I'm going to try to zoom in so that you guys can see. This is not powdery stuff. This, you know, because the powdery stuff, this stuff, you see how it's very fine and shiny? These are not fine and shiny. These are like little balls, hard little balls. I don't know if they're glass. Yes, I think they're glass. But I've never seen this. So if anyone could tell me in the comments what what this is, and you know what it's called, I kind of like it. It does add a nice amount of weight. It doesn't have the powdery consistency of the Bountiful Baby glass, which is ground up really fine. And this one is glass too. It's just not ground up really fine. You can roll. It's like little balls, little ball beads. As I decide, because now I don't know what to do, and I'm going to pull out the glass that I have, which has a very sandy consistency. Now I want to know what she used for this. I'm going to have to find out because I love it. Love it. Okay, so I'm just going to pull a little bit of this glass here, but it is very sugary. It's like sugary fine, okay? I'm going to put a little bit more just so I can show you guys the difference here. This is very sugary fine. This is not little balls. Now I think I'm just going to focus on weighing this little guy's head. He needed weight and polyfill on, not fiberfill, polyfill in there. I want to put this stocking inside the head, just like so. And just open up the stocking. The reason you're going to want to put the stocking in, that way, once you fill the glass in there, you're not going to find that the opening is going to allow you to stick a ball of glass in there. So you're going to want to put the stocking in there first. I have this homemade funnel. I just got a piece of cardboard, like something I got, some junk mail I got in the mail, some flyer. I stapled it and made myself a funnel. The funnel just makes it easier to pour. Oh, it keeps bouncing back. You could buy one of those for really cheap if you want to buy one, or you can make one at home. Oops, let me. And as you go, you can start to feel the weight on the head. I'm going to add a little bit more. So this is just a trial and error kind of thing. Like, you don't know until you feel it, and just by the feel of it. You don't want to make the head too heavy, because if the head is too heavy, it just will constantly collapse into the body. It'll just flop around everywhere. That's the situation I'm having with my Scarlet right now. I'm definitely not really liking the weight of her head. You see how that clogged in there? Remember, stick the stocking inside before you start pouring the glass inside the doll. You're just going to tie this in a nice knot. Nothing should escape from that. Trust me, it won't. Okay, I think I have that enough. I like for the inside, the little sack of glass to fall kind of forward at the forehead, because I love the way it looks when a doll tucks his little head into his chest. Some people like it in the back of the head. I don't like to put that much weight onto the back of the head. Now I'm simply just going to stuff his head. For the head, I really do like to use the traditional polyfill, because the cluster would just be a mess, and if I ever need to take it out again, the cluster being all broken apart or easily falls apart wouldn't be ideal for this. Okay, with this artist, I had another doll by that artist, but I switched out the body and I never emptied out its contents. But that doll also had the same beautiful cluster fill, and it was weighted. You can weight your doll with the plastic. I don't recommend it because it's a lot lighter than the sand, but since that doll that she made for me was really small, she weighted him with like the plastic beads instead of the glass beads, which is fine. But I kind of have to say that I love the way these beads, the glass beads that she used and the plastic beads that she used, I like the way they hold their shape. So instead of just falling into a heavy small ball, it filled the shape really nice. It fills the shape nicely. I'm actually going to add this to his body along with the glass beads that she has. So we're experimenting here. And I'm taking you along for the ride. You can weight your doll with little steel balls. I had bought these also to experiment with, but I found that I didn't like them, especially not putting them in their head, because they were getting stuck to the magnet inside the mouth, and I found out the hard way. We're gonna move along now to his body, and I have his legs on. I don't really recommend doing this with the legs on and everything, because it just makes it harder. Traditionally, if this was a doll that I was not happy with the weight in their arms or anything, I would also remove the arms and reweight the arms. But in this case, that I don't have that problem where I'm not really happy with the arms. So now I'm just gonna start filling a little bit of this cluster fill at the bottom so that I have kind of, I've formed something for the weight to sit on. Okay, so I'm just going to cut this cable tie because I got it to how I want the head, how tight I want the head. And that's also a matter of personal preference. But you also don't want to make it too loose where you can't really move the head. So I like them squishy. This cluster fill is fabulous. Now what I did was I put the really super soft cluster fill that I bought here at Joann's towards the middle. The bottom has the cluster fill that the artist uses, and the top also has the cluster fill because it had a nice fluffy consistency, but the same kind of like the traditional polyfill. So he's looking good. I ended up removing the little plastic beads because it was just kind of making him too crunchy, and he really didn't need any more weight in the body. I also ended up removing some of the weight from his head. That's all stuff you guys didn't get to see. You really have to just It's a lot of trial and error. So I hope that you got the basics from this video, the things that you need. It's all tricky. It's all, you know, feeling how you want that particular, for each kid it's going to be different. Each kid is going to be different. How you want them weighed, how you want the weight distributed, how much bendability you want them to have. I still want them with enough bendability. That's my preference. Some people like a much firmer baby because they like to sit their babies up. You see how his head flops down now. Before, his head had absolutely no weight. I always put the weight towards the forehead on the top, so I start to stuff all the fiber, the polyfill towards the back to keep it there. Then I stuff underneath it to hold it up there, up at this top level, and then I just start to stuff around the cheeks. So nice and stuffed pretty well, I think. And now he's nice and floppy. He definitely weighs a lot more, and I like him. I don't like them too heavy, but and I like how bendy he is. And so we have his diaper on, and I have an adorable outfit for him. This is a handmade. I love bright colors on him, but I really wanted to put this on a baby again. It's a Winnie the Pooh with Piglet. Cute little bow tie. So you guys, tell me what you think in the comments. If you like how his new look is, do you like the consistency? I don't like him too floppy. I don't like him too firm. He definitely was very light when he came to me, and the body was really, really thin. So we filled him up a little bit more. And we added weight to his head. I did not mess around with the weight in his arms whatsoever. And I think, basically, I think what he was weighted in the legs was perfect, and the arms. So I did not mess with that at all. He just, as you guys saw, had an empty head. So we needed to fix that. Let's get him in this outfit now. Oh, he's so cute. This guy wears newborn, like a large newborn. He's 20 inches. Ooh, he's this little bit snug around the back right now, but not too bad. It still fits him nicely. Has still a lot of room around his legs. He looks gorgeous in this. Oh, he looks gorgeous. Look at him. Look at him, guys. Oh my goodness, he's so cute. So that's all I had for you guys today. I hope you love his outfit. I hope you enjoyed that somewhat fumbling around tutorial. I hope you got the basics from it. Let me know in the comments if you know, what products do you use? What materials do you prefer? What materials do you prefer weighting your dolls with? What's worked and what hasn't worked for you? That is my question for you guys today. Thanks for joining me. I know there's a lot of options when it comes to Reborn doll channels, and I'd like to thank you for choosing me today. If this is the only video or one of 3 videos that you watched today, thank you. We'll see you guys again soon. Bye.